Welcome to Talkin' English. Hey, have you noticed how strict Mr. Johnson has become lately?
Oh, tell me about it. It's like he's on a mission to make our lives miserable. His assignments are getting more and more demanding.
Right? And did you see how he gave me a hard time during today's class discussion? I felt like I was being interrogated.
Absolutely. It's as if he enjoys making us squirm. And the way he talks down to us. It's infuriating.
I know, right? I get that he wants us to excel, but there's a limit. I miss the days when he used to be a bit more laid back.
Totally. It's like he forgot that we're human beings with lives outside of his class. The workload is getting out of hand.
And don't even get me started on his grading. I feel like no matter how hard I try, he's never satisfied.
Preach. It's like he's on a power trip or something. I wish he would just cut us some slack for once.
Couldn't agree more. I'm seriously considering talking to him about it. Maybe if enough of us express our concerns, he'll ease up a bit.
Count me in. I'm fed up with feeling like I'm walking on eggshells in his class. Let's do something about it.
Hey, did you catch that last lecture? I mean, seriously, it felt like a marathon of information overload.
Oh, tell me about it. I thought I was the only one drowning in the sea of concepts. I mean, can our teacher slow down a bit? It's like they're on a mission to break the sound barrier.
Right? I swear, I barely had time to jot down one thing before they moved on to the next topic. And the explanations? Don't even get me started. It's like deciphering some ancient hieroglyphics.
Exactly. I don't know if they're trying to impress us with their speed or just testing our ability to process information at the speed of light. I signed up for a class, not a race.
And did you notice the lack of examples? I mean, hello, real-world applications, anyone? I need to see how this stuff works in the wild, not just in some abstract theoretical universe.
Totally agree. I feel like I'm just memorizing formulas without really grasping the practical side of things. It's frustrating.
We should definitely bring this up in the next class. I can't be the only one feeling like I need a decoder ring just to understand what's going on.
Good idea. Maybe if enough of us speak up, the message will get through, and we'll get a class that feels more like learning and less like a sprint to the finish line.
Hey, did you catch what happened in class today?
Oh yeah, that lecture was rough. I mean, seriously, could our professor be any more unclear?
Right? I feel like I need a decoder just to understand their explanations. It's like they're speaking a whole different language.
And did you notice the pace? Lightning speed. I barely had time to jot down a single note before they jumped to the next topic.
I know. It's frustrating. Plus, I've got questions, but asking feels like stepping into a landmine. The way they react sometimes makes me think twice.
Exactly. It's like they're always on the edge. I wish they could be a bit more approachable.
Totally agree. It's like we're expected to be mind readers in there.
I'm just hoping the next class is a tad less of an uphill climb.
Hey, have you noticed how tough Mr. Johnson's assignments have been lately? I mean, they're incredibly challenging.
Absolutely. I feel like he expects us to be mind readers with the way he assigns tasks without clear instructions. It's frustrating, to be honest.
And the deadlines. It's like he forgets we have other classes and loads of work from them too. How does he expect us to manage?
Tell me about it. I barely have time to catch a breath, let alone complete his never-ending pile of readings and essays. It's draining.
Plus, his grading seems so arbitrary. I put in a ton of effort, and yet the feedback is vague at best. It's demotivating.
I totally get it. I wish he'd understand that we're doing our best and cut us some slack. It's not easy juggling everything he throws our way.
Couldn't agree more. I hope he considers our feedback someday. Otherwise, this class is going to be a real struggle.
Let's hope so. Until then, I guess we'll just have to grit our teeth and push through.
Hey, did you catch the latest assignment Mr. Johnson gave us?
Yeah, I did. Can you believe the workload he's piling on us? It's like he thinks we don't have any other classes or a life outside of school.
Seriously, it's getting out of hand. I mean, I get that he wants us to succeed, but it's like he forgets there are other subjects and teachers with expectations too.
And the way he explains things in class, it's like he's speaking a different language. I find myself spending more time trying to figure out what he's saying than actually learning the material.
Right? It's so frustrating. I wish he could just break things down a bit more and not assume we're all on the same page. And don't even get me started on the grading. It feels like he's on a mission to destroy our GPAs.
Tell me about it. I spent hours on that last essay, and the feedback I got was so vague. I have no idea what he wants from us half the time.
Exactly. I just hope he eases up a bit. I'm already stressed with everything else going on, and his class is just adding unnecessary pressure.
Preach. Maybe we should talk to him about it or get together with some classmates to voice our concerns. This can't be just us feeling this way.
Agreed. It's about time someone spoke up. Let's see if we can organize a little student intervention before this semester becomes a complete disaster. Hey, have you noticed how our math class is getting more and more challenging?
Absolutely. It's like the difficulty level just went from 0 to 100 overnight. I can barely keep up with the pace.
And did you catch the way Mr. Johnson explains things? It's like he's speaking a different language.
Oh, don't even get me started on that. I feel like I need a translator just to understand what he's saying, and his explanations are so vague.
Right? I asked him a question yesterday, and he just mumbled something and moved on. It's so frustrating.
I know what you mean. I feel like I'm on my own trying to figure out these concepts. And the homework, it's like he expects us to be mind readers.
I couldn't agree more. I spent hours on that last assignment, and I still don't know if I did it right. And when I asked for clarification, he acted like I was bothering him.
That's the worst. I wish he would just break it down in a way that makes sense. It's getting harder and harder to stay motivated in that class.
Tell me about it. I just hope things get better, or at least he starts being more helpful. Otherwise, this semester is going to be a real struggle. Ugh, have you noticed how Mr. Johnson always gives us tons of homework?
Tell me about it. It's like he thinks we have nothing else to do but study for his class.
And did you see the way he explained that last chapter? I swear, it was like he was speaking a different language.
Right? I feel like I need a translator just to understand what he's saying half the time. And don't get me started on his tests. I mean, who asks questions like that?
Seriously. I spend hours studying, and then the test comes, and it's like I never even looked at the material. It's beyond frustrating.
And did you see how he never gives us a break? I mean, can't we catch a breather once in a while?
I know, right? It's like he's on a mission to make our lives miserable. I can't wait for this semester to be over.
Amen to that. I just hope the next teacher is a bit more understanding.
Hey, have you noticed how Mr. Johnson has been teaching lately? I mean, it's getting on my nerves.
Oh, totally. I can't believe how boring his classes have become. It's like he's stuck in the last century with his teaching methods.
Right? And did you see how he assigned that massive amount of homework yesterday? I swear, he must think we have nothing else to do.
Tell me about it. I barely have time to breathe with all the assignments he piles on us. It's like he's on a mission to make our lives miserable.
And did you hear the way he talks? I can barely understand half of what he's saying. It's like he's speaking a different language.
Don't even get me started on that. I have to Google half the stuff he says just to figure out what it means. It's so frustrating.
I'm seriously thinking about complaining to the school about him. This is just too much.
Honestly, I'm with you on that. Maybe if enough of us speak up, they'll do something about it. This can't go on.
Hey, have you noticed how Mr. Johnson keeps piling on the homework? It's getting ridiculous.
Oh, tell me about it. I feel like I'm drowning in assignments. It's like he doesn't realize we have other classes too.
Exactly. And did you catch the way he explained that last concept? I swear, it was like listening to a foreign language. I have no idea what's going on in class.
Don't even get me started on that. I asked him for clarification, and he just repeated the same thing as if it would magically make sense the second time around.
It's frustrating. I wish he would slow down and actually help us understand instead of rushing through everything.
And what's up with those surprise quizzes? I mean, come on, can't we catch a break?
Seriously. It's like he enjoys seeing us squirm. I just want to get through this semester without pulling my hair out.
Amen to that. Maybe we should organize a student protest or something. Down with the homework overload. What do you think?
I like the idea, but let's start with some constructive feedback first. Maybe if enough of us express our concerns, he'll ease up a bit. Hey, have you noticed how Mr. Johnson has been really getting on my nerves lately?
Oh, tell me about it. I can't stand his constant need to micromanage everything. It's like he doesn't trust us at all.
Exactly. And did you see the way he handled our presentations last week? I felt like I was back in kindergarten with all the unnecessary comments.
Don't even get me started on that. It's like he's always trying to find something wrong, no matter how well we do. I just want to roll my eyes every time he starts nitpicking.
And the amount of homework he assigns is insane. I feel like I'm drowning in assignments, and there's no way I can keep up with everything.
I totally agree. It's like he doesn't realize we have lives outside of his class. I've had to sacrifice so much just to keep up with his ridiculous workload.
I've been thinking about talking to him about it, but I'm worried he'll just brush it off or make it even worse. What do you think?
Well, it might be worth a shot. We can't just let him continue to drive us crazy. Maybe if we approach him calmly and express how overwhelming it is, he'll at least consider easing up a bit.
Yeah, you're right. It's just frustrating when a teacher becomes more of a headache than a help. Let's hope he takes our concerns seriously.